students will start thinking, I'm organised, I'm a good planner, I can do this. But one of the things that is constantly being referred back to us is, I thought I was good at that, but the reality is, if I'd known at the beginning what I know now, I really did need to get my time management skills up to scratch. Some of the other tips, if you like, that are available to us that we then share with other learners is make a time and place. Physically prepare your place for learning in your home. Let people around you know that this is your time for study, and be a bit selfish in terms of allocating that time and not moving it. Just do it, get started. Make a start with it, contact the teachers. If you're not sure, there's never a silly question, you know, and commit to a time, just as you do in other aspects of your life. So not only saying I'll allocate 2 hours a week, but to set up a system that enables that to always happen.
I think it can feel quite overwhelming when you first start, but if you just work out a bit of a plan, definitely use the tutors. I kind of sent a lot of emails and had a lot of phone calls just to get clarification sometimes if I had questions, rather than sit there and let myself get confused. To talk it through with an expert was really, really helpful. Something I didn't do as much as I probably should have done now looking back was using the online forums to really talk to other people that were doing the same course. I was lucky to have a bit of a mentor at work, but I would probably recommend using the tools that are out there rather than sit there and try and muddle through by yourself. Talk to people, take the help that's offered, because it's so easily accessible.
I think the big thing about it is to just get on with it. It took me, I have to admit, it took several months for me to actually start the program. I wasn't quite sure how to go about it. Distance learning is quite intimidating because you're left to your own devices a little bit. So I would say, A, just get on with it. B, I would use OTEN as often as you can, because I found them extremely supportive, both online and on the phone. And I also discovered that they ran workshops, which I went to on, I think, 3 occasions, but going to the first one put everything in perspective for me, and I left there with a clear understanding. So I think it's important you just work out the program you're going to follow. You need to look at the steps you're going to take, and then really you just need to get on and do it.
I think to be a successful online learner, you need to be very determined. You need to know why you're doing a course and what you want to get out of it. And if you understand that and you commit to finishing the course, then you can work everything else out. You can work out the technical problems, you can work out the problems with the course. If you make a phone call or send an email, people are very willing to help you. Basically, if you have the motivation, you can get there.
So I think time management is a really big one, and perseverance, commitment, determination, and just don't give up, because at the end you will be happy and proud that you finished. And I am very happy and proud that I have done it, and I have benefited a lot from it. And it's not just a course where I just ended up with a qualification. It is something that I use every day in my job, and I can see how relevant it is to my job.
I would definitely say to set a study area up so that that's your, if you have an office or you have a desk or what have you, and when you sit down, you've basically got an environment where you're in a mode to study. Try and make it so that, you know, if you've got friends or family or partners around, that it doesn't interrupt them as much as well. Depending on your abilities, you might be able to do things while there's a lot of noise around, or like myself, I needed a little bit of quiet, so making an area where that can happen is quite important. But also spending time with your partner and family. It can be quite a time-consuming thing when you're studying, and making sure that you've got that interaction still with them, and not just sort of making it everything that you do is quite important as well. So I think that would be a good thing. I guess the other thing would be to set aside certain times when you know that you're going to be studying, and that way you can try and keep your discipline in there to make sure that you're getting regular study done, and it's going to allow you to actually complete the course rather than sort of putting it off or procrastinating.